This is going to be a little something a little different. This is going to be a real-time commentary versus game 3 of a elemental deck with Yorion. We are going to be keeping both our hands. My hand's okay. It's not amazing, but it has a game plan, and I'm favored in the matchup, so I'm pretty happy with like keeping a pretty decent hand. Nothing super spectacular. I just need to have a game plan in the hand, and that's what I keep. My opponent fetches and shocks, and then he's going to play Abundant Growth, and he's going to draw a card after that. That is nothing to really worry about. They're always going to be trying to like, keep their hand pretty high because a lot of their effects are going to be like Solitudes and Furies and stuff like that that they need to pitch cards from their hand to keep. So they need to try to keep a high hand count. I shock, go down to 18, and then play a Steve, and then I pass. Still, I'm moving forward with my game plan. I have a ramp spell basically I played, and I have a good idea of what's going to be going on and how I'm going to be winning. My opponent plays Ren and 6, pluses and gets their land back, and they're done. I untap, I play a fetch land, and I crack it, and then I'm going to be playing my own Ren 6 after the crack. Ren 6 is not a ramp spell. He's not a ramp spell. He's not a game-ending spell. He's nothing that like actively like puts a as like a threat, but eventually he gets up to threat level, and he has to be dealt with. So he's just another thing for my opponent to have to figure out how to answer. And that's just really what you're looking for. Is you want to, especially with this kind of like deck type, is you just want to have them to be on the back foot every single game or every single turn. You want to have a threat, or you want to have them have an answer to go backwards. I went first because I lost game 2. Game 2, I made a couple mistakes near the end, and it kind of just got away from me, and I'm kind of like tilted from that basically. And but I'm still confident. I know I made mistakes. I know I threw the game away. So I have to figure out how I'm not going to do that next time. And I just need to remember, stay in control, don't get overconfident, and remember to just don't slow play or don't be too cautious. Make them have the answers, and I feel like that's what I made a couple mistakes in game 2, is assuming they're always going to be, I wanted like the perfect turn, and it just never came. Should have just went with like okay turns. Can't talk about game 2, unfortunately I can't talk about because the video got corrupted. So we only have game 3. Game 3 is going to be pretty fast. It's only about 10 minutes long. He taps 3 for a baby Teferi. And he just going to does what baby Teferi does. I don't play instant speed spells, so I'm really not too worried about it. If I do need to play an instant speed spell, which I do have Vel's Summer in my sideboard, and they're in the deck right now, but I know how to play around to Fairy. So I untap. He's already at 15, which is great news. And I'm going to be playing down my Arid Mesa again. And then I am going to fetch it. Get a tap land, I believe. I want to keep my land, my life pretty high. Not really too worried about my life, but especially if he has if he gets a Fury on board, I don't want to take like random furies and stuff like that. So I get a basic, and I'm okay with that. Tick up Ren 6 again, and then I play a Dryad. Play a Dryad, ask if it resolves. It does. So I play another, and right now I'm already at, I have 5 lands in play, plus a Steve, and if the Dryad comes out again, I'll be able to play another card out of my hand. I have a Shift already in my hand, and I think I have a backup Steve. I'm sorry, not backup Steve, but a backup Dryad. So I am super confident. Like next turn, I'm gonna win. Even if they kill this Dryad, I'll still be able to play a Dryad from my hand, and then I'll be able to shift. So he'll need a really strong, really like active turn to do anything to stop me from winning next turn. And so he's just thinking about, he has a good feeling that I'm probably going to win. I'm at like critical mass of lands. I've dried out. I have like everything going for me. I have Ren. This is like perfect. Ren and 6, Dryad, and just dropping lands. And Steve out too. So I'm just like really happy where I'm at right now. His life total is under 18. That's great news too. And I'm just super confident that unless he like does something crazy or does something like that I'm unexpected that I don't even know that's in the elemental deck, I'm gonna win next turn most likely. So he plays Omnath, draws a card, and he already played a land for the turn. So he's just trying to make sure he does everything he needs to do. He's going to minus on Ren to kill my Sakura Tribe Elder, and that really doesn't matter. I was probably going to sacrifice him at the end of this turn, and that doesn't matter. I believe I get a forest here. There's no reason not to get a forest. I have Dryad out, and so he's trying to work on my like things to do. He's trying to work on my creatures and stuff. Trying to control what I have, but with my backup Dryad in my hand, and that's why I really like. There's no way I would play anything less than 4 Dryads. He solitudes my Dryad. That's okay. I got my backup in my hand. I gain a couple alive, and he's basically done everything he can. He has like 2 cards left in his hand. No, he probably has like 2, 3, 4, 5. He has 5 cards left in his hand, but he's all tapped out, and he's pretty good. So at the end of his turn, I fetch, and now I'm at 7 lands, just and without having to play a land drop and without having Dryad out either. And I have Ren 6 to pull back out a fetch land. So I play the fetch land for my turn. I go up to 8 lands, play Dryad, and then it resolves. Play a Dryad land. So I'm at 9 lands right now, and I shift. Now I'm aware he could do like something weird, and maybe he'll be able to like get him back up to like over 18 life somehow. So I'm just trying to be like smart about what lands I sacrifice and what lands I don't sacrifice. And I don't need like to scoop away all of my lands. So what I do is I keep 3 mountains in play. Those are going to be my Valakut lands that I'm searching for, and then I'm going to be searching for looks like 3 mountains. But I'm like 3 times 6 is only 18, and what if you can go above 18? So I take up 1 more. So now I have 4 mountains and 2 Valakuts that I'm going to be searching for. So I pick up the 2 mountains and 4 and the other ones, and I search for 4 mountains and 2 Valakuts. Now I get a bunch of triggers, more than I think I'm going to need, and I leave a basic in my sideboard or in my deck. It doesn't have to be a basic, it just can be anything, but I leave a basic in my deck. I get a bunch of triggers. I don't even know how many triggers I get. I get 2 triggers per land because of Dryad. So I get what is that, 6 total. So I do 6 times 2 is 12, 36 damage. So I'm aiming 36 trigger or 12 damage, 12 triggers at him for 36 life total. He's looking, trying to figure out anything I've messed up on, anything that he could do to stop it. Escape Drift has already resolved, but maybe he has like a solitude he can do on his like Omnat or something to gain some life. Or maybe he can like solitude my Dryad and prevent triggers. That's what I'm assuming he's thinking about. But he's just looking, trying to figure out if there's anything for him to do. There isn't. The game ends here, and that's just it. Overall, it was pretty just focused on my game plan, and it was a good game. I was pretty happy with that game.